Tonight, amid continuing accusations, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn arrives in Scotland and vows to act against any party members who behave in an anti-Semitic way.
We are very concerned to make sure there can always be an open and proper debate about Israel and its foreign policy and about the Palestinian people and their rights and their future.
Also tonight, police say it could take 3 days to complete a search of a farm near Huntly in a probe over drugs and stolen property. 3 years after it was destroyed by fire, Ballater train station reopens to a royal seal of approval.
It's wonderful to see Ballater station finally opening up after 3 years. It's been a long journey to get here, but the end product is absolutely fantastic.
And a song for their city. We speak to the Proclaimers about their latest musical tribute. Good evening, I'm Sharon Donaldson. This is the STV News at 6, live from Aberdeen. Well, as you say, 3 people were accused of the murder of Stephen Donaldson: 24-year-old Stephen Dickey, 24-year-old Callum Davidson, and the third accused, 20-year-old Tasman Glass. She was found guilty of the lesser charge of culpable homicide. Well, in the last few minutes, the police read a statement on behalf of Stephen Donaldson's family. Well, this case centred on a love triangle between Tasman Glass, Stephen Dickey and Stephen Donaldson. Tasman Glass, the Crown argued, was the facilitator in the attack, and the motivation was one of the oldest in the world: the jealousy over a woman. Well, the judge, Lord Pentland, described Dickey and Davidson's actions as being savage and depraved. He said Tasman Glass's offence was extremely serious, and even though she does now have a young baby at home, that did not stop him from remanding her in custody for what he described was in the public interest. He thanked the jury for what he described was an onerous task in this case. Sentencing will take place on the 30th of May. This section of the AWPR between Craibston and Stonehaven is complete, but it's understood the contractor can't give an opening date because of problems with the new bridge over the River Don, meaning mile upon mile of brand new road lies empty and unused. Kyle Gibbon first started telling his mum he felt different to the other children in primary school. He went on to be diagnosed with moderate learning difficulties and ADHD. His mum Tracy says her son was a patient at Cornhill Hospital in Aberdeen. He was about to go into supported accommodation, but was sent to Carstairs instead.
How likely do you think it is that Kyle Gibbon will be transferred closer to his mother?
Well, it's a very complex situation, isn't it, Andrea? I mean, clearly Kyle was sectioned under the Mental Health Act, so the authorities thought that was the right course of action for them to take. The Mental Health Commission say that they visit Carstairs at least twice a year to hear any patient feedback they may have, and there are strict legal processes in place in terms of detaining patients in hospital. But obviously Kyle's mother, Tracy, feels very differently. She feels she needs a care in the community package, and she hopes a private assessment will help her get that done. Where does this story go next? Well, up to the Scottish Government, but the Scottish Government at the moment are saying they can't comment due to patient confidentiality.
All right, Sharon, thanks for that.
Tonight, Brexit battle lines as the Prime Minister prepares to tell EU leaders a plan for a deal with Europe isn't dead. Opponents say it won't get through the Commons.
I believe a deal is achievable, and now is the time to make it happen.
Also tonight, animal rights campaigners release shocking undercover footage of cruelty they say happened at 24 sheep farms across Scotland. A Highland priest's heartfelt plea for more to be done to tackle the issue of suicide.
Modern society is terribly isolating for people. The sense of community has broken down.
And in sport, after Neil McCann's departure, Dundee begin the search for their next manager. Good evening, I'm Sharon Donaldson. This is the STV News at 6, live from Aberdeen.
Well, the future of this site really remains unclear. So far, Mr Sutty has not responded to my calls for comment, but pressure on him to do something really is mounting. Today, local MSP Kevin Stewart wrote to Historic Scotland and the Prince's Regeneration Trust asking them to do something to save these buildings, the largest group of at-risk A-listed buildings anywhere in the UK. The Planning Committee will meet on Thursday to see what action they can take. The full council will meet next month to see if that compulsory purchase order is an option. Ambitious but doable, Norman. There are 24 craft beers on tap at this craft beer bar in Aberdeen, which is one of many which have sprung up across Scotland as breweries diversify. Now, this is an industry which has created thousands of jobs over the years, but back in 1971 there were just 11 breweries in Scotland. Fast forward to now and they're well over the 100 mark, showing craft beers are definitely back in fashion. Of course, it was never meant to be like this. The funicular opened on Christmas Eve in 2001 following an investment of around £20 million. The railway carries around 300,000 tourists and sports visitors every year. And operators Cairngorm Mountain Limited employ around 70 staff and had a turnover of £3.5 million to the end of last year. The Prince's visit has allowed him to see firsthand how local mentoring and sports projects are really making a difference in the lives of children. Sharon Donaldson, STV News, Aberdeen. These therapets have been chosen for their calm and gentle nature. They're very well behaved. But like any dog, they'll do anything for a biscuit. Who wants a biscuit? Who wants a biscuit? Murphy? Do you want a biscuit? Who else wants a biscuit? Oh, lovely. Sharon Donaldson, STV News, Aberdeen. Dog walkers say they are taking the lead in the war on plastics in the hope they can make the countryside cleaner and greener for everyone. Sharon Donaldson, STV News, Stonehaven. Flicker and Wilson have been very well behaved today. In fact, they've charmed everyone they've met.
Hi, Mary.
They even do room visits for those unable to make it downstairs.
And he's 3 years old.
Oh.
And he's a wee miniature Shetland pony.
Oh.
And he came up in the lift to see you.
No,
He did. He did. He came up in the lift. Isn't he a clever boy?
He's a fun pony.
Sharon Donaldson, STV News. The Tudder app may seem a bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's actually doing a really important job, helping to hook up thousands of farmers across the country trying to trade and breed their animals.
Sharon Donaldson joins us now. And, oh, Sharon, he looks like he's converted you too.
Absolutely. This has been lent to me by Lawrence Kirk's very own American football superfan. And look at the shrine he's built in his back garden to his favourite team, the Houston Texans. It's called the Bullpen, after that team. Follow me inside and let's have a look.